is healing with that Marshall looking down long here on C. The Astro Wall goes up, so definitely Landside's looking to take C, knowing that there's only a couple of people there. The Wolf goes out as well. We do see that Cage is up from Cypher, trying to prevent some people from going in. It did go down, and we also see the drone go in. Now Mr. Memphi trying to use that the Omen smoke and the Astro Wall to gain some advantage here and get hopefully a little bit of damage out on those defenders.
Great job there by Bofi with just a pistol. Takes down Prestige. It's an eco round for the Firestorm. They got to try and do what they can. Cake is healing with the Marshall. Gets one, but Mr. Memphi picks up a double kill. It's up to Samba. He's been having a great round so far. That's a huge headshot to make it a 1v2, but the knives are available for Memphi if he wants to pop them.
1v2, you cannot count your eggs before they hatch if it's going against Mr. Memphi here. They're one of those fragging out players that we see notoriously pick up multiple kills all by themselves, even as the last player standing. Mr. Memphi started the plant trying to bait out both Jet and Omen from the Firestorms. Now they have fully dedicated it, knowing where they're at. They have plenty of time to get it down. However, DTX came in unable to find the crosshairs as Mr. Memphi takes them both out. Wow!
That was insane. Mr. Memphi read them like a book. There's two of them pushing them. He immediately knows, he plants the spike, peeks left, kills one, and then says, hey, I bet you I know exactly where the other one is. Oh my goodness, we talk about Mr. Memphi all the time, and for plays like that, a double headshot. I don't even know he took a single point of damage in a 1v2 while planting the spike. That is absolutely insane, and that is a backbreaker for the Firestorms because that guarantees they go into the half losing to the Landslides, their longtime rival.
Mr. Memphi, that is high-right, real quality stuff there. El Boof finds Alexic, so the Killjoy powerhouse is going down for the Landslide. Jet, Mr. Memphi still has those knives online. I don't think, Fish, we've seen Mr. Memphi pop them at all thus far, correct?
No, we have not. He's had enough credits when he dies to just simply buy a gun. He's never been in a spot where, you know what, maybe I need to pop the knives here. So just a fantastic overall round from Mr. Memphi. Dog is going to come out. He sees, I think that was the Omen on the other side of the wall. Cypher Cage goes down. Ooh, Tripwire is triggered by Mr. Memphi. See a 1-for-1 trade off screen. Prestige still looking for somebody. Another flash goes out. Cake is healing right behind that box. Prestige is going to get the headshot, but it's now a 1-on-3 for CC.
Samba did pick up Prestige right after that one. Firestorm's looking good as CC finds Samba, evening out the odds just a little bit. CC can get double kills just like Mr. Memphi can for their team. However, the spike is down on C. We do see both Reyna and Jet are looking just to camp it out, make sure CC can't pick it up easily.
30 seconds left.
This is going to be a little bit difficult. They're giving a lot of leeway there as CC finds it, gets the headshot, but DTX closing out the round, taking out CC.
Yeah, CC didn't expect DTX was going to be there as well. You're going to see him get that first elimination onto Bofi and then immediately try and run with the spike because this is where the recon dart betrayed him. He only saw Bofi on that recon dart. He had no idea DTX was there, and we talk about it all the time. It's something Riley, our other caster, mentioned a lot. The team that pushed together wins together. Good job, both of you shooting him at the same time. If DTX had waited, I think maybe CC ends up pulling up that round, so that was a great job. Double pushing, using your 2-on-1 to its advantage.
All right, I believe we are at the last round before the half switch, so it's use it or lose it time for these teams. Mr. Memphi, are you going to pop those knives or not?
But we have a few more rounds. I think we have one more after this,
yes,
actually.
You're right. Mr. Memphi also did pick up Samba there. The Wolf did come out from Prestige. Definitely can predict Prestige's location based off that, so hopefully DTX does not ego peek this one. Yes, Prestige now choosing to rotate back since their location and path of moving was definitely revealed.
Memphi just hanging out in that mid-courtyard. Maybe going to go towards B. He's going to have to be careful because El Boof is right on the other side of that wall with a judge. Even against someone like Mr. Memphi, that short range with that shotgun is going to favor him. Cake is healing. Gets a nice little flank, but takes a ton of damage. There's El Boof with that judge. A perfect play onto Mr. Memphi. Tries to take the gun, but takes quite a lot of damage as well.
CC found Bofi there off screen, so now Firestorm's down to just 3 people, and 2 of them very low health in their reserve tank there. Snazzy goes in for the plant, and it's going to be secured now. Firestorm's got to play for that retake. Will they be able to do it? We do see that we also had the knives come out from Jet here for the Firestorms. Cake is healing, possibly will be able to get one pick here and use that Neuro Theft to give their team an advantage and possibly go for the retake. Otherwise, they may just need to get out alive here and hope they can maintain their credit count.
Ooh, Prestige trying to challenge DTX with those knives.
Oh,
a perfect headshot. He picks up another one on Elboof. It's all up to Cake is healing. Make it a 3-piece for Prestige to end the round. Prestige with 3 straight headshots.
Round in the half.
Honestly, I thought that spike was getting too close to detonation time, and we might have seen a couple go down to it. Now we are at the last round before the half. It's use it or lose it time. Mr. Memphi, are you going to pop those knives, or are we going to see you just go full bore and get an operator to make a clear path of just a viscera of the enemy team for your team to take a point? Either way, it'll be exciting to see what you decide to do. We have 3 ults online for the Firestorms. Hopefully they'll be able to utilize those to prevent the landslides from getting another round win.
And it looks like I think Elboof and Samba ended up not having enough credits to be able to buy a gun. They're both rocking pistols right now. That is a huge disadvantage, especially with Bofi going down. It's basically a 5-on, 2+2 with a pistol. It's going to be a very, very hard round for the Firestorms to win. Plus, as you mentioned, Mr. Memphi, I do think did pick up that op, so he's going to be an absolute unit of destruction as Elboof only able to get that shorty as well. It's going to be a tough ask for the Firestorms to even find a way to win this.
2 pistols this late in the game might as well count as 1 player. As we see, it is just 2 players standing here left for the Firestorms. Everyone for the landslides is still alive. No real damage being taken from them. Elboof trying to survive against Mr. Memphi, who had the classic in their hands, probably intending to pop those knives. They did, in fact, pop them, and the landslides went out a flawless round.
And this is bad news for the Firestorms. As we talked about in the past, these teams usually went into the half, I think, the last few weeks at 6-6. A 9-3 advantage for the landslides, you'd have to think, based on the fact they have not lost in what's almost 6 weeks now in this esports tower. The landslides probably might wrap this one up in short order, but we'll see. Now maybe defending, they can make something happen. I think a lot of eyes have got to be on Cake is healing and Samba. Cake is healing, of course, the new player in Samba, who had a fantastic defending round. Haven't got a chance to see the scoreboard yet, but I would have to assume he's the top fragger on the Firestorms right now. Would love to see Samba have an insane round here, maybe get us back even at like a 9-9, which would be a huge win for the Firestorms if you take 6 straight.
If the landslides do not manage to win the 2 pistol rounds to allow the Firestorms to bring their score up to 5, I foresee it being a more close match here as we see Bofi find Mr. Memphi already taking out that big name player for the landslides is great for the Firestorms. Let's see if they can maintain this agent lead as Snazzy and Prestige pick up 1 apiece, but then DTX and Bofi return the favor. Snazzy finds Bofi, and now it is just 2-1 now. Landslides down to just Alexic. DTX picking up a 2-piece.
Fantastic job there by the Firestorms, winning that pistol round. Yeah, you see right there, Samba at 11-11. Gotta have a huge round for him. He think was the only person on the Firestorms who was even close to positive. So if him and one other player can maybe start to have an insane attacking round, maybe you're right, Nerdy. Maybe the Firestorms can get back into this, but it's just such a tough ask to win that many rounds in a row against a team like the Landslides, who are notorious for just finishing off teams and not letting them have a chance to get back in the game.
The key here for the Firestorms, just beyond the gameplay, is that mental fortitude that you need to maintain. No game is truly lost until the end. So long as they can maintain that idea that this is still a 0-0 game, hopefully they can come out on top as DTX finds Selexic and CC finds DTX, so an even trade there. Both sides down 1. Elboof picking up 2, and then Bofi finding 1. It is just Astra remaining for the landslides.
Great round here for Elboof. Gets the triple kill on to Snazzy. And just like that, the landslides, one true weakness. Just those pistol rounds immediately gives 2 rounds back to the Firestorm. I'm going to put them in a decent start there. I liked what Solix was trying to do with that shorty. Unfortunately, he didn't expect 2 members to be C-long, so he gets taken out. Maybe Elboof heard me challenge him. I said somebody besides Samba's got to have a huge round, and right now Elboof with that triple kill probably has to be doing pretty well and feeling pretty good about himself. And that Hunter's Fury is going to be online very shortly if he keeps playing like that.
This is a nice spot.
You've got the tripwire coming out from Cake is healing. Fully aware that Prestige loves to flank, so great job on that. The recon dart went out, was shot down immediately. Snazzy using a couple of those smokes. Jet returning the favor using one of their own, allowing them to move through here. They're fully aware that Snazzy is in that area, so going headlong was not the best idea as we try to see some wall bangs come out to try and get some damage there on Jet, but thankfully none of them landed. However, Mr. Memphi came in, taking out DTX. We saw the Wolf get deployed as well there from Prestige, possibly revealing the locations of a couple players as well as a few flash going out, and Prestige takes out Samba and Elboof.
Oh, so looks it's Cake is healing, who thought he was in a sneaky spot. It's all up to Bofi. Mr. Memphi's going to challenge him, get the headshot, get their team right back in the lead, and I think the mistake that you make there for the Firestorms is, why is there every single yellow silhouette in almost the same spot? They just got absolutely bullet hosed down. Starting with a great wall bang by Mr. Memphi. Fortunately, you just can't be that grouped up against the landslides because they will find ways to take you out in a heartbeat.
Okay, we need to rephrase or those who push together win together. We don't mean go in a conga line like lemmings, but stay in a relative group so you can see each other.
Yeah, that phrase usually only applies when it's like a like a 3-on-2. We do not mean it when it's a 5-on-5 right off the bat. Please do not 5-shove one area. Unless you're the landslides on Ascent, then do whatever the heck you want because they 5-man shove A all the time and it usually works. We do hear the knives from DTX. Samba gets taken out, but this C corridor is going to be very scary for Solix, who's defending it all alone right now. Elboof might end up right behind Prestige, but you can kind of see there on the map the landslides kind of just looking all over the place. Looks like we maybe bailed for mid. They're kind of debating right now what they want to do, already down a member.
Got the recon dart getting shot here. It may reveal Prestige's location. They definitely heard it, possibly took it out. So Elboof knows at least one person is standing there. Prestige goes in for some shots. Elboof sees Snazzy, takes him out. CC follows up, taking out Elboof. Prestige finds Bofi, and now it's just two standing for the Firestorms. They still have the spike in their possession, but they need to come up with a plan to even the score as DTX finds Mr. Memphi.
It's all on DTX with those knives. He's got to get maybe one more instant kill with those knives. They do get a plant down with the spike. Good job by Cake is healing. CC up in heaven. Gets the recon dart down, but it does get immediately destroyed. Cake is healing, using that jet smoke so incredibly well. Gets taken out. It's up to DTX in a one-on-one, but CC eliminates him, and the landslide's now just 2 rounds away from victory.
Just going for that easy defuse. Nothing to worry about. I'm excited to see if we can get some Hunter's Fury kills from either of the Sovas. I mean, the last time we saw it used, yes, it was great, well planned, didn't pick anybody up. It looked cool though, but I really want to see at least a kill with the Hunter's Fury, possibly a double.
The way Elboof's been playing, if the Firestorms want to come back, and I mean, he has been fantastic on this Sova. Like I said in the open, probably the best Sova in the esports tower. I think CC's giving him a run for his money here, but I 100% expect if the Firestorms come back, make this a game, Elboof's got to be a major part of this comeback for this team. We do see it looks like at least one Marshall up for Cake is healing, which we really haven't seen many Marshall pop-offs from anyone outside of Mr. Memphi, and even he at times has struggled with that Marshall, so maybe Cake is healing can prove us wrong, because Marshall, when you're down 6 and the other team's only 2 rounds away from winning, is a very, very risky endeavor. Samba gets taken already to a red HP.
Samba also did drop the spike briefly, went back and picked it up, possibly intending to engage and maybe lose their life in favor of getting information for their team, allowing one of their teammates to grab that spike. Now they have it. Low health, though, is putting them in a risky situation. If they go down in a bad spot, it'll be very difficult for their team to take that spike back, because if it's camped out by the landslides, the opportunity for a spike plant to win the round will be difficult to pull off.
You see him at 19 HP. Looks like it's going to be an A push on the side of the Firestorms. You heard a Marshall shot go off. You've got Mr. Memphi up in heaven watching down A. Him versus Elboof. Elboof barely misses. We have 2 Marshalls on the side of the Firestorms. That's a very, very interesting play here in a round like this. I guess it's kind of a soft eco for them.
30 seconds left.
We've got Reyna pushing on C, using both their Lears back to back there. Snazzy finds Bofi. Now we've got 3 standing. Yes, 3 standing as Prestige finds Elboof. Samba is going to manage to get the plant off. Mr. Memphi comes in with that Marshall. Will they be able to get an angle on anybody, or are they all going to try and hide from the tailwind? Comes in to protect them from that shot. Now we've got Prestige coming in from the other side as well. Cake is healing. proves their prowess on the Marshall, though. Finding Mr. Memphi, Prestige finds DTX. There is a tripwire and the Cypher Cage both being used. Lexic will go down to Samba, who's popping off, but Prestige is full health right now, and Samba is at 19.
Oh, he turned around. Very unfortunate there. Oh, Prestige with the BM. Gonna try and run over, get Mr. Memphi's op back for him. Great job by Cake is Healing, taking out Mr. Memphi with a Marshall versus an op. But match point for the landslides. Mr. Memphi with an op, plus his knives. I'll be honest, I just don't see a way the Firestorms win this game. It's just, no one's ever come back from a deficit against this. I mean, yes, you know, somebody's eventually got to make the landslides bleed, but I don't think this is the way to do it with an insane 7-round comeback just to force overtime. But maybe I'm wrong. I just don't see it happening.
The odds are not in their favor, Fish, so there is nothing I can say to refute that statement. And if we look at the econ here as far as ultimates go, Cake is Healing took out Snazzy, and that was going to be my key for the re-engage there, possibly take a spike plant back. But Bofi also picked up a kill there as well. The Neuro Theft came out. Cake is Healing going for the plant. Jet is at half health. They've got to be careful. This Hawk comes out. CC now has sights there on Omen. They do jump down into hell to protect themselves. They possibly saw at least CC is in heaven now, so they're aware that there's a couple pushing up from above.
It's a great play by Sombra that we need to talk about after this round ends. That's a huge reason why his team's up 5-2. Wouldn't expect the Firestorms need to do anything. As you see, they have picked up Mr. Memphi's off. Prestige just kind of YOLOs it into his death. It's all up to CC. He gets taken out. Samba teleported up into heaven, and that confused Mr. Memphi to where he almost had a free kill onto Bofi. But then he had to turn around. He heard the teleport come out. He just gets absolutely flanked. It's a very aggressive play from the Firestorms, but hey, when you're down 12-5, you got to do something risky. That was a fantastic round. Not saying they're going to win, but that was a fantastic way to play around when you're in a spot like that.
That was
talked about it. Somebody, maybe even two people, have got to have huge games, and Samba's done everything he can for this Firestorms team. Does look like we might have an eco here. It looks like we have our live game back on the screen. It looks like Solix and CC able to get a couple of eliminations. Solix gets one more. To 3-on-2 for the Firestorms. Plus, Mr. Memphi has those knives. Ooh, El Boof with a huge clutch to at least get it to a 2-on-2. Mr. Memphi sees it, misses a couple knives. That's a huge choke by Mr. Memphi.
And Bofi on that Empress found Snazzy as well. Firestorms bringing it back, brought their score up to 7-12. They need to close that gap more, cannot let the landslides win a single round here. Will they manage to keep their cool heads going into this next one? As the exhaustion starts to set in, these games are always very long and exhausting. But even for the most experienced players, having to maintain that sort of upbeat type of personality and thought processes here can be very exhausting.
Just not used to seeing Mr. Memphi struggle with the knives like that. I'll be very curious to see. It looks like he is on that A corridor. Prestige gets one before Cake is Healing takes him out. Mr. Memphi is camping that alt orb, trying to bait somebody in his direction. CC gets one before they trade out once again, so it's down to a 3-on-3. There's a Killjoy up for Solix if he wants to maybe use it when the spike goes down. So it looks like for now, two members of the Firestorm surround that B site.
We've also got that Astro Wall for the landslides. Both that in combination with Selexic's Killjoy ultimate can be huge for allowing for a retake because of how much space they provide for the team to push in. We also see that Sova has that Hunter's Fury, so if they see the defuse start, we could see a repeat of what happened earlier and just see a double shot over the spike to zone or even take someone out.
Oh, Samba with the fantastic read. Gets the wallbang headshot onto Mr. Memphi. Cake is Healing's gonna get the spike down. Solix is taken low. This might be just you eat. Oh, he's actually gonna throw down the Killjoy. I thought maybe you just eat the ult. Oh, they catch him in the Hunter's Fury.
Oh no!
It's a 1-on-2. Oh, he could have just waited for the Killjoy to go out. I think they both would have gotten detained.
Well,
one of them would have. Samba did teleport out, which is a great job by him. But I thought maybe you just sit on your Killjoy ult when you do get shot. So I think about 19 HP. So maybe a bit overzealous, and we're seeing the landslide for maybe the first time ever falter in the later rounds, which is usually when they dominate.
I mean, it's a trade-off. They did win the first 2 pistol rounds, which we rarely, I don't think we actually have seen back-to-back pistol round victories for the landslides happen in the first and second half, so they had to give up one side or the other. Lagging a little bit in the end game, though, can be your Achilles heel, though. It's allowing for the Firestorms to catch up. We do see Neuro Theft and Knives are online for the Firestorms. Those 2 things combined can be quite deadly. And we also have Hunter's Fury and that Astro Wall still online for the landslides, so that'll provide a retake if they have to do that.
Ooh, Mr. Memphi gets one on to Cake his healing. That is huge, but Bofi's going to trade it right back onto Mr. Memphi. He's pushing a 4v4. Samba DTX pop off with back-to-back kills. And just like that, the Firestorms find themselves up 4-2, and they look like they're going to shrink this gap. They're going to get that spike down as well. Looks like we had a double flank coming out here from the landslides, which is what they're notorious for, but in a 4-on-2, Solix and Prestige are going to have to probably pick up 2 quick picks here without being shot, and that's a tough ask.
Let's see if they can manage to do it. We do have El Boof take out Selexic, but Samba went down. We also have DTX, who got a little bit of damage on them. Prestige found Bofi there, but it's 2-1. Will Prestige be found first? And El Boof does take down Prestige.
Did see a quick flash of the scoreboard before that round, and of course Mr. Memphi did get a kill, but it's actually shocking to see Mr. Memphi is bottom fragging on his team right now, which is not something we're used to seeing for one of our better players in the esports tower. So great job by the Firestorms of just neutralizing Mr. Memphi's aggression. I don't think he's gotten a single op kill this entire game. Of course, he's very talented with the guns. He's not just a one-trick with the op, but honestly, even if the Firestorms don't win this, to make Mr. Memphi have, I think, maybe the worst game we've ever seen on stream, that is a fantastic job by the Firestorms, and huge credit to them no matter how this game goes.
We do see the Lear come out there from Reyna. El Boof is using that drone, trying to get some information, location data for their team. Astra's planted the smoke locations, is prepared to use them. We've got Sky with that Jellyfish ultimate online, so if they do feel as though it's taking too long for this push to come out from the Firestorms, just pop that. You can immediately figure out where most of the team is and just decide whether or not they're going to be pushing to it one site or another. We'll see if that works out in their favor, as Bofi is trying to get some information here. Doesn't see anyone on A, so they know it's clear. However, Astra is slowly coming in there from the left.
Well, Booth to pick on Mr. Memphi while he's trying to rotate through the B site. Cake is healing, is going to get that spike down. And nobody on A meant that it is all taken over by the Firestorm. Snazzy's going to try and go up into heaven with his Sheriff, looking for a quick pick onto somebody. But I don't think anyone's really in line of sight, not even DTX, as they're doing all a great job. He does get revealed on that spy cam. Has to get rid of that tracker dart, and El Boof gets another one. Make that a 3-piece for El Boof, and it's now all up to Snazzy with that Sheriff, and looks like we're going to 12-10.
Firestorms are bringing it back. This is very amazing to see, honestly. Firestorms, you're doing fantastic. You guys did lose Dotbot, and I was very sad to know that they had left your side to go to the Blizzards, but of course, you know, you got to spread the love around. Keika's Healing is doing a fantastic job at that Cypher. They do have Neuro Theft online, and we also see that we've got Knives, and Omen even has their ult as well. There's 3 for both sides. The retake ability for the landslides, though, with those ults is very high. So even if the Firestorms manage to get a plant, they need to be careful.
I think the other thing is that the Firestorms, I'm curious how this long-term affects the landslides. Even if they do end up winning, I mean, the fact that you're going to lose, I think, 7 straight rounds when you were up 12-3 is absolutely insane. There's those Jellyfish from Prestige to try and give his team some information. We do have the Knives up for DTX. Samba's up in heaven. I don't think he knows Prestige is there. Prestige is trying to maybe bait him through that Omen smoke. He's going to peek around the corner. And that's a great start for the landslides. That's going to make that A push almost impossible. But you see on your map there, everybody's pushing C for the Firestorms. And it's going to be, once again, a retake here for the landslides.
Nice job for the Firestorms there, choosing to not go with the A push again, mixing things up. Definitely think that for the landslides, they anticipated the push to be on A with so many people over there. We do see Mr. Memphi is going to be late to the game of returning over here towards Site C. They're grouping up towards B as well right now. El Boof finds Mr. Memphi, but Selexic returns the favor, taking them out. It is now just 3-3 standing for both sides. And we do hear the Astro Wall go up as Bofi finds Selexic.
Ooh, Prestige gets one. Can he get DTX? That's huge. So 1v1, Snazzy takes him out. He just has to make it over to the spike in time. I think he should be fine. And the landslides, not the game they probably wanted. But they're able to take care of business in the end. A fantastic job by the Landslides. But man, the Firestorms once again proved just how close this rivalry is. I didn't think they had a chance of getting to double digits when they were down 9-3 to end up losing 13-10. I know they don't want to hear it because unfortunately they still get eliminated by the Landslides. That has to be maybe the best round we've ever seen the Firestorms play.
I can't argue with you there. I hope to see it come even closer next week. Possibly see David topple Goliath and have the Firestorms come out on top in that next time they face off.
Oh, every time these teams play, we see it at the highest level potentially in the already. Going at it alone can only get you so far. If you want to increase your chances of success, you have to level up your teaming skills. We saw that with the Firestorms, playing that perfectly, sacrificing themselves for information for the rest of their team, kind of confusing the more solo style of play that we usually see from the Landslides, especially on the back of Mr. Memphi. You can see how talented this team is. The Esports Tower really takes time to create teams of well-matched teammates. I want to give a huge shout out to the coaches. Couple members missing from the Firestorms. We didn't even mention Cool Guy Fire, who I think will kind of maybe learn why he wasn't there a bit later, not on that team. They still had an incredible round. You hate to see them lose like this, but if you haven't checked out the Esports Tower clubs and you're watching, you should. It is the fast track to rank up. We take a look at our standings. We know the Landslides are on to our semifinals. I think we're going to find out. We see right there the Monsoons and the Eruptions is our next game, which teams we haven't seen too much from. So I'm very excited to see both these teams.
I can't argue with you on that one either. The Eruptions, I think this is their first appearance in the semifinals thus far for us.
Yep.
So really excited to see what you guys have in store, especially if you made it this far. That means you've definitely improved on a lot of issues you were having in the past. That VOD review, those coaches, of course, always come in handy. But before we get to see all of that action, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back here in just a few minutes.
Are you guys ready? I don't think you guys are ready, bro. Here we go. Prepare your ears, chat. Prepare your ears. Here we go. Yes, sir. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Schmeed Cup. They're not going to be ready for this. Oh! Oh! Nitro with 2, 3.
Get down. Dark wave. Get down.
Well, you got the ace. And he got the ace to close it. Corey is your first Schmeed Cup champion. UFC events, brought in some heavy hitters to support this tournament. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was the first Schmeed Cup. Hashtag never alone,
Hello, I'm Rajneesh Khanna from iCultiware and Chopra Foundation. Mental health has been brought up a lot recently and proven to be at the forefront of our conversations. As we begin to understand how comprehensive it is, we should open up a conversation that mental health is not one size fits all. We all need help or just someone to talk to from time to time.
Mental health is a very serious thing, so I'm glad that we were able to run this tournament and showcase and just show that and help support that cause, for mental health. So thank you guys so much. Let me go talk to the Esports Tower team. Yo, what's going on, guys?
Hello, man.
So how did it feel playing against 10s?
I was shaking.
Yeah.
Shaking the entire time.
You guys got rounds, right? So that's all that matters.
Yeah.
and don't feel down. You
No,
literally
if
just
anything,
played.
I feel great right now.
I'm coming out of this.
Yeah, you guys literally played against one of the most stacked teams, I think, of this tournament. All the people that are watching too, like, you guys can do this as well. You guys can earn your chance. So look up Esports Tower, and they're doing good things over there.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire. I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives. And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
While I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Welcome back to this week's broadcast of Esports Tower Rumble in Valorant. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. It's our first semifinal of Week 9 between the Monsoons and the Eruption, both looking to make it into their first ever Grand Finals. And this is our lineup for the event thus far. However, before we jump into that next game, we have a special moment we would like to give to all of the players who have been involved thus far and give some great words of congratulations to those that we'll be talking about.
Yeah, we talked about it in the past with the Esports Tower, with all of their scholarships, and we want to take a moment to congratulate all of the Esports Tower club members who have graduated from the club and have been offered scholarships across the country. You'll see their names flash on the screen and their colleges they will be attending in front of you. Over the last 3 months, Esports Tower club members have received over $1.2 million in scholarships awards. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but worked hard academically and earned these scholarship opportunities. These players on these lists are talented, hardworking, driven, and we could not be more excited and proud to see all the opportunities these players will have in the coming years. And there's some big names on this list. Of course, you know, our own Boise State there for Maxwell. I think Northwood is a huge one as well for Umitra. And so there are some big names on this list that we have covered in both the Rocket League and the Overwatch and the Valorant ones. Very excited to see all of these players. Cannot wait. I know Jockstrot we might see here at Boise State. We play the University of Utah quite a lot. We say Bay State as well. So hopefully able to see some of these players down the line in future competitions. Won't be rooting for them as much as we are in the Esports Tower, but still a huge congratulations to them. And cannot wait to see what they do in the future. As long as they don't change their name, it'll be great to kind of track their progress throughout the next 4 years in their collegiate play.
Well, you heard it from us. Please don't change your names. We would like to be able to recognize you guys, unless you can, you know, point us in the right direction when you do choose to change your name. Maybe tell our prod staff you did that so we can give you a shout and be like, I remember when you were just in high school, and wow, you've come so gosh darn far. That's amazing, and congratulations to all of you guys.
Yeah, and I mean, that list is only going to be growing in future years. I mean, you take a look at the Landslides team. I mean, I would assume all 5 of them at some point are probably going to be on a collegiate scholarship for Valorant if that game, you know, continues to grow at the rate it's growing, especially Mr. Memphi in Prestige. But I think CC has a spot there as well, so does Solik. So I think there's a ton of players on both the teams we just saw, and maybe there's going to be somebody from the Eruptions and the Monsoons that we're about to see that's going to have their name on that list in a couple years, because all of these players in the Esports Tower, even though they're not on the Landslides and winning every week, they're still putting in great performances, and I'm sure people are taking notice.
Yes, and part of that great performance for these games, especially Valorant here, is focusing on some of the key points that Doc gives out to everyone here, and those are Doc's keys to the game. Focus those angles, flank, know your win conditioning, count cards, call abilities, and know the enemy econ. Doc's keys to the game are presented today by Esports Tower. Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, and your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up.
I think the one thing that really intrigues me about this matchup between the Eruptions and the Monsoons, we did see the graphic for our bracket flash on screen. The Monsoons actually eliminated Surge White in an earlier round that we didn't get to see, and Surge White was kind of one of those teams that was, you know, it was Landslides first, then Firestorm and Surge White kind of battle back and forth. They kind of take turns representing in the grand final. So for the Monsoons to knock off Surge White, you see there at the bottom of their screen there in that first round, that can maybe go a long way into giving them confidence to knocking off the Eruptions, but the Eruptions taking out the Meteors, who we've seen some flashes of in the recent weeks. both these teams I'm assuming are ready to go, but when you take down Surge White, you catch my attention, and maybe it's the Monsoon's time to crack into that upper echelon.
All right, well, Monsoons, Eruptions, no pressure on you guys whatsoever at all. Of course, right, Fish?
No, none at all. I mean, I don't want to discredit the Hurricanes, but whoever wins this is probably looking at a date with the landslides next week. So it's one of those where even when you win this, you're like, really? We most likely have to play the landslides again. No offense to the Hurricanes. I would love to see them knock off the landslides, but until somebody beats them, I'm just going to assume the landslides are making it to the grand finals. But right now, who else is going to be maybe joining them? Monsoon's Eruption. Can't wait to find out here on Ascent. It's a classic map that we haven't seen in quite a few weeks because it's usually banned because the landslides absolutely dominate on it.
This is our first semifinal matchup this week, and as Fish mentioned, Monsoons took out Surge White, that team that just changes the meta all the time, screws up everyone's timing on everything. So to take down a team like that, they're definitely a force to be reckoned with. Excited to see what they come out with as we see a few new names on these rosters. One that's definitely sticking out to me is Fear Cosmic Wolf playing that Killjoy over there, and Zizo gonna go with the Sova, PvP Wars 1, Astra, and Korkles there on the Reyna.
Yeah, and for the other side, the one thing that catches my eye is Ellie. I think we've usually seen them on the Sage. They're now on that Sky, so kind of following what we've seen a lot from Prestige, where he played a lot on that Sage, now moving to that Sky. I don't know how much practice Ellie has had on that Sky, but it is always going to be very frustrating if you end up flashing your own team. So hopefully Ellie, as I say that, nope, okay. Maybe they're just messing with you. They hovered this Cypher for a bit. If they pick that Sky, you got to be careful not to flash your own team. And I think the other thing is there's a lot of interesting for Pryor. I mean, you would assume the smiley face means that him and Ellie maybe know each other. Maybe they're friends off the field because they have very similar names. But the only Sova in this game going to have a lot of information to our attacking team here. Looks like for the Monsoons. Interesting to see how they play around that Sova.
It's nice to see that we have an Astra on both sides. We don't typically see that coming into any of these matches. Typically only one side has it. But Muffins, first time we're going to be able to see them play as well as PvP here. We'll see who's the better Astra when they face off against one another in a little bit of operator-on-operator aggression there.
Ooh, the Korkles for that Reyna. I mean, obviously, I know in a game like Valorant, your rank means more than your level, but 284, perhaps the highest level we've seen in Esports Tower. I mean, we only get like a brief glimpse of it as we go into the match. So maybe Korkles has quite a lot of experience. Maybe he's got some interesting angles we'll see him take, but a lot of new faces, as we talked about. We usually haven't had a chance to see the Eruption and the Monsoons because usually it's teams like Surge White and the Firestorms who are making it to these semifinals. So I'm excited for both these players to show out here and maybe make a name for themselves. And who knows, maybe in next year, maybe in a few years, I don't know their high school status, they'll be on that list of scholarships that we just saw. As we kick this off, and Korkles waiting there. His crosshair right on the head, but he misses by an inch.
E just barely avoided that shot from the Sheriff. That can be very deadly if you don't have any armor on. That's basically a guaranteed death. Walking straight into it as well. Korkles knows that Maeve is there too, so pushing in is going to be risky as Maeve finds Korkles right away though.
Yeah, great start with that Jet, getting a first blood. You can see Fear Cosmic Wolf sitting on that B site. The rest of the Monsoons kind of just hanging out in mid. Really haven't made too much of a determination of where they want to go. Pryor is looking in their direction, but he's going to run away. And I'm very curious to see what exactly the Monsoons want to do for their first push.
This is very different than what we normally see. They're very split up. We've got two in mid, two over by one site, and then we have one trailing back. It was Sova kind of looking towards that A site. I think they've determined that there's almost nobody sitting over by A, so they're going to try and push theirs. We also see E pop that Venom wall.
So great little duel there between Maeve and the Sentry bot as we see a couple of swarm grenades get taken out. It's all Fear Cosmic Wolf. The rest of the team's trying to flutter in. Great pick there by PvP Wars. He's going to land right in front of Muffins. He didn't see him. That is so unfortunate. Now Zizo's got to be left in a 2v and really a 1v4.
Maeve found Reskin, so there's only one Jet standing. Monsoons are looking a lot healthier than the Eruptions. Just Sova standing with a little bit over half health is in a risky position here. Zizo's going to try for the retake, or are they going to go for the exit frag and just try to stay alive? It's going to be a bold move either way.
Recon Dart goes down, gets them quite a bit of information, but I still agree with you. I feel like in a 1v4, maybe try and get an exit frag or two and then just drop away, get a couple points for that Hunter's Fury. Maeve's going to peek him, though. He wasn't ready for it. She gets a 4K to start the round off, and a great job by the Monsoons. And a slower push than we're used to seeing ended up coming out on top.
Maeve was the lowest, had the lowest health of everyone there, and was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it, and just walks out and takes them out. That's incredible. Also very gutsy, and just shows the prowess that all of these players possess here. Definitely having faith in their own gaming abilities and not playing chicken there and staying behind a wall.
I just feel so bad for PvP Wars. He jumps down, he gets a great pick, thinks he's going to be able to get a flank, and he lands right in front of Muffins, who just says, okay, thank you very much. And we actually are going to get Maeve on the Marshall here. Speaking of headshots, though, it's E with that first blood with the Sheriff. Despite winning the pistol round, sticking with that Sheriff. That is a very interesting call here for the Monsoons.
Possibly really trying to gain the econ advantage, saving up a little bit. We did see most players opted out of getting any sort of armor. I saw 2 that had light shields, but that was basically it for the side of the Monsoon. So definitely an econ round. Perhaps they foresee the Eruptions being able to win this one either way, so they're trying to hang on to those credits, but only time will tell as we see Ellie use that flash. Not sure if it picked anybody up, but they are trapped in the Astra smoke, so they got to be careful here, making sure no one pushes in on them.
Ellie's going to take a little bit of damage. Maeve with that Marshall. He's got the Killjoy to his left. I don't think he knows about it. Corkles gets taken out by Muffins. Yeah, I think everybody but Maeve actually ecoed despite winning the round. That is not something we've seen very often. Oh, Maeve's going to get a great opportunity. Oh, PvP Wars.
I think she got the foot of PvP there and managed to get out with that tailwind. Knows there's 2 people on her tail now. Has to be careful. Looks like the 2 of them are going to go for their surround and conquer method here, trying to cut off any point of exit as E finishes off PvP there. So now Eruption's down to just 2 agents on the field and 4 standing for the Monsoons, and Spike is in their possession as well.
They're running out of time, though. The Monsoons just took too long.
All you need is 5 seconds, though, to plant that spike, and they were right at it. Oh!
Just over a second and a half. Rezkin's now with this pistol, but you can see there, I mean, it's not as, lopsided as you would think after losing the pistol round, because everybody but Maeve still has a pistol. So this is, I don't know to say winnable, but Rezkin's, but definitely a better option than he's used to seeing. Is it looks like that Sova is kind of back there chilling out in case he tries for an exit.
I'm looking right now at those health bars, and it's a little deceiving because it's grayscale, so it's black or gray, but Ellie has almost no health left. I'm pretty sure if we were to pop over to their POV, they'd have maybe two health as Muffins finds Rezkin, and the attackers, Monsoons, win out that second round.
I'm curious what they want to do with this extra cash, because you have to have had a plan of, okay, we're going to eco here, and we're going to come up with something. But that's just so weird to me. I've never seen a team win the pistol round and then say, you know what, let's just keep our pistols and not spend any cash. So I'm expecting them to come out with some kind of huge power play here.
We've seen a team decide to go with nothing but Odins before. That was horrifying and hilarious in the form of Surge White. So perhaps the Monsoons are planning something similar, but with more powerful weaponry. We'll have to wait and see, though, because it looks like the buys did come out pretty standard across the board. There was a flash there that picked up Maeve and one other. However, that does allow them to know that the Sky is right there. Sky did use their Wolf on that push. Now Maeve already has the knives online for round 3 as Muffins picks up Zizo.
Ooh, but the knives don't matter as Corkles gets the headshot onto Maeve. It is interesting. It looks like Pryor, the Sova for the side of the Monsoons, might be having some connection issues. Has not left the spawn yet. I don't believe bought a gun. So would be shocked if we don't maybe get a pause after this round to make sure everything's good there, because it is sort of a 4v3 right now for the Eruption or for the Monsoons as PvP Wars right on the other side of that wall. But E, that's what you do. Make sure you check your corners. It's a great job by E to make sure they take out PvP Wars.
Now it's Corkles is going to stand here and in heaven, making sure that no one gets an easy push in right through the front gate. However, 3 people are left standing for the Eruptions. Monsoons definitely have an advantage here, but if Corkles can get another kill, because they've been definitely fantastic with their crosshair placement, perhaps we'll see things even out. I believe Pryor is choosing to stay back at spawn, being aware that the Sova for the Eruptions is not in game to even the score out, so that's some great sportsmanship there coming out from these esports tower players.
Does look like Pryor has come back into the game, though, so it will put his team in advantage. Once again, running out of time here for the Monsoons. That Viper wall is going to weaken Fear Cosmic Wolf, so they're not going to get the spike down. They're not.
No,
they
not.
had full control of B, and they didn't plant the spike.
Wait, what?
Oh, they did. They barely got it.
Wait, what?
No, they didn't.
Okay, yeah,
They forgot.
So Slow and Steady does win the race, but Monsoons, you got to remember there still is a finish line that you have to get to.
They had full, and it wasn't like, it was a contested B side. They had full control of B. That's just...
Or perhaps they chose not to plant knowing that there was a connection issue, so it wasn't enough that they had their Sova stay back at spawn. They just decided to give the round over, which also would make sense.
Well, I think it was their Sova that DC'd, right? Yeah, it was the Monsoon Sova that wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
So very interesting. I would love to maybe hear what happened, but maybe they were trying to figure out if Sova could come back and got distracted by the time. Very interesting because they should be up 3-0, and now Corkles, he's not going to waste a moment of that. Gets a great elimination onto Maeve. They're all sitting on that A corridor, and this is going to be a risky push, especially with Zizo having that Odin. He could just spray fire right down and probably pick up a few kills, especially if he gets a good recon dart.
We saw a couple shock darts go out, didn't pick up anything, possibly gave some information, though, if they managed to get any damage out on anyone. Looking at the Monsoons, though, Astra has been popping off. They have that Astra wall all ready to go. Corkles finds Ellie. They're down to... Now E is low, very low on health. Still has the spike in their possession, though, as we go into a 3v4. Scratch that, a 2v4. Now Sova has that spike as E goes down.
It's a great spray by PvP Wars, just picking up E through the smoke. Fear Cosmic Wolf gonna get a great flank here. It's all up to Muffins, and man, you have to wonder how this game would have changed if this would have been a 3-0 instead of a 2-1. But regardless, we're tied now. You have the Empress up for the Eruptions, and Corkles, he's gonna pick up the Ops. Very curious to see how this Ops is gonna go on that Reyna, because with that improved fire rate from the Empress, you're not used to seeing Reynas being the ones who are trying to be the op fragger for their team.
Perhaps that is the secret to the Eruptions. Key to victory here is giving the Reyna the op. Hopefully they'll be able to get some damage out, pick up a few kills from that op. It is a very heavy buy, though, and on start of round 5, picking that up means that they're going to be in a risky situation as far as credits go if their team does not come out on top of this round.
Looks like we've got a mainly B push here from the side of the Monsoon, so the Viper wall go up. Another flash goes out for Ellie. I don't think the dog or either flash found anything. They do take out Fear Cosmic Wolf's sentry bot there, and it's all up to Fear Cosmic Wolf in that B side. He's going to go back into the barrels, but he's going to get taken out. Here comes the rotation, but that Viper wall should mean it's a free play. And the Viper ult from E. That is an almost impossible retake here for the side of the Eruptions into that Viper ult.
We do see Jet smoke off Maeve over there on the far side of the point, so it's going to give their team an opportunity to push in. Maeve, either way, picks up 2. PvP and Rezkin will go down. The Astro Wall is still available for the Monsoons if they need it, as Zizo finds Maeve and Ellie finds Corkles. Now it's just Zizo standing with that Odin. They're going to use another shock dart, see if they can get any damage or pick someone up. They did get damage. Oh, no, that was a recon dart. But either way, Ellie will find Zizo to end the round out.
It's a great job there by the Monsoons. We're seeing a lot more aggressive ult usage from both these teams. I always did wonder, just in a realistic standpoint, how the Viper ult doesn't hurt your teammates, but it hurts the other team. How does Viper know who to poison?
I'm going to assume that Viper has, like, an antitoxin that they give to their teammates.
Provides gas mask for her teammates, maybe.
Yeah.
A great close-up there of thank you, E, for that close-up. Very rarely do we see anyone ever replace the pistols or secondary, except E. We're going to go with the shorty in the secondary slot. I'd love to have him get a pop off with the shorty, because you rarely ever see Vandal shorty. That's just kind of a excess cash usage if you have to think about it.
Got Corkles with the Sheriff going for long shots here and managed to pick up one, but unfortunately using that overheal does put you in a kind of, it makes you a soft target for everybody else that's standing around you. So E and Ellie did pick up one apiece as well. The Eruptions are down to 2. Monsoons have 3 standing. As the Hawk comes out there from Ellie, they did, I believe, blind Zizo, but will Zizo try and come in now knowing that there is some people there as the jellyfish get popped? So the location of Zizo's definitely revealed. They know that they're there. Spike goes down. Ellie is just going to go right into the face there of Sova, and while they're blinded, take them out, so Zizo goes down.
That was a risky play there. Zizo almost made it all the way into that back corridor. Now it's all up to Fear Cosmic Wolf, who is up in heaven. He's on the other side of that Viper wall.
Oh!
He reads that perfectly, and the Monsoons starting to put themselves back in control with 2 rounds, 1 in a row, and I think we might see... I think this might be the last round that the Eruptions can afford to lose before they might have to start ecoing again. We can see a couple of ecos coming out, actually, for the Eruptions. Which we've seen that a lot tonight. We usually see, you know, teams either say, all right, we're all going to eco, or we're all not going to eco. Second time tonight where we've seen a team that's like, we'll like half eco, and we'll see if that works for us.
Well, Reyna for the Eruptions put themselves in a hard spot there by buying that the operator there and unfortunately losing the round. That's a lot of credit deficit if you don't get that gun back, and no one from their team was left standing to grab it for him. So definitely have to eco this round, or pray that one of your teammates is kind enough to buy you some weaponry. As we do see, E uses that Hawk, is going to be able to get a blind out as well. The Astra Wall for the Monsoons is still in play. The Empress from the Eruptions got popped as well. Astra for the Eruptions also has that wall, so we'll have to see how those get utilized here.
Thought I saw that Corkles had a Marshal, so interesting he's going to pop the Empress with that. So Rezkins, this is the first one eliminated, and it looks like they burned all their utility on A just to kind of throw them off. Here comes Corkles, he's going to peek, and he's not going to find anything of value, and it looks like it's maybe a B rotation. The Monsoons just play this so controlled is probably the best way to put it.
Very calculated, very meticulous.
That's a good way to put it as well.
We have
fake the plant when they're all 5 on the spot. Fake it again.
Maeve unfortunately does go down. E follows that up, taking out Fear Cosmic Wolf. It is now down to a 2v4 though. The spike is planted and the Monsoons have full control of the point as E went in to try and pick, it looks like Zizo tried to go in, but E took them out. And then Ellie will find PvP to win out that round, bringing the score up to 5 for the Monsoons.
Hey, it doesn't matter how you play if you keep winning, and that's what the Monsoons have been doing. And it's a very interesting style because, I mean, we saw so much utility from both teams get burned on that A site. And then they just rotate over to B. They throw up the Viper wall, which is why I think Viper we've seen quite a lot of in Esports Tower. That Viper wall makes it so hard on a regain. I think the Monsoons have really been playing their operators to their almost maximum potential. And that's a big reason why they have a sizable lead right now and a couple rounds away from guaranteeing a lead at the half.
You've got Zizo, I saw that over there, decided to pick up the Odin yet again. The Hawk's going to go out there from Sky. Will it be enough to get some info? I think they did, yes. They realized Zizo was there, got them down. There's 3 ults on the side of the Monsoons, just 2 for the Eruptions. Will the Monsoons be able to utilize those, or will they even need to, as we see the Wolf go in onto that site and did definitely reveal Cosmic Wolf there in the back right.
Corkles did get up a pick, so it is a 4v4. Maeve, I don't think knows there's someone to his right. The Jellyfish will give away PvP War's location. PvP War is hiding behind that wall. Maeve knows that they're there. They just got to get the kill. Neither of them can find anything. PvP War is going to be able to get away. Off screen, meanwhile, Ellie does pick up a kill to put us back in a 3v3. Jet Smoke is going to go out. Maeve, you got to be careful. You know they're still behind you.
Is she going to be able to find them? And they do. Maeve finds PvP. After PvP did take out E, it's 2-2 right now. However, Maeve is low on health, has the spike, so this is a risky situation for them.
They get healed back up to full, but they don't have any armor left by that Sky. They're going to get the spike down right out in the open.
Interesting plant spot.
But it is going to allow them to watch it from back here on A main. You expect one person on the Eruptions to go up to heaven. Looks like it's going to be Corkles. So if they're able to take out that Corkles, that's going to be huge because that's going to be all up to Fear Cosmic Wolf.
Going for wall bangs, trying to make sure no one was down there. The Killjoy does go up there from for the defenders. It's going to give them some clearance. Corkles, nice job checking in hell there. No one was there, however, and you did reveal your location looking for those wall bangs. Fear Cosmic will find Ellie, and Corkles is going to get the defuse because Maeve, unfortunately, was detained.
Great use of that Killjoy. We've very rarely seen, well, that's unfortunate that Maeve's going to get an exit frag on to Fear Cosmic Wolf because that is some cash that unfortunately gets taken out of the Eruption's hand. But that was a fantastic Killjoy ult, and they played it perfectly. You start defusing during the Killjoy. And unfortunately, there was nowhere for Maeve to go, and they got detained, as you mentioned, so they couldn't really contest that defuse. I think they bought multiple guns for their team as well with all of their credits. They still have 6,400 available themselves. Now they're able to get that Phantom, and I think Maeve has been doing a fantastic job on this jet. Really able to pick apart the other team, and we see a Hunter's Fury coming out from Zizo. See if he's able to find anything. Nope.
Just a little bit too far to the right there. We can see where people are standing, but Zizo could not. They're now going to use that drone to try and pick up info. Shock Dart comes out as well. Uses both of them. Doesn't pick up anybody. Got a little bit of damage out onto 2 players there. The Wolf's going to come out from Sky. Didn't check their core. Oh, I do believe at the last second they did. And Ian Maeve both picking up 1 apiece there, opening up the opportunity for them to push in. PvP is in heaven, but is blocked off by the Astra smoke from the other Astra.
Great job by Rezkins. Does take out E to make it a 4v3. Spike sitting in the middle of A, but Maeve takes down Fear Cosmic Wolf. 2 members left. They're both up in heaven. Maeve with the dash away to stay alive, and now Rezkins is going to need a miracle play here. Yeah, it's a great start, and not a great end.
I'll give you props there, Rezkin. You got the headshot out onto Maeve. Nicely done.
Yeah, in a situation like that, once you get the first kill and reveal your location, both these teams, and really all the teams in the esports tower, are skilled enough to know that you can cover multiple angles. And so you're just going to be a dead man walking, unfortunately. But I think the Eruptions have been playing really well, and the Monsoons, this very slow and calculated approach is very interesting to me, because for the most part it's working. But as you mentioned, they almost missed a hole. You know, they almost missed Soba in the corner there. So you got to be careful with that Sky that you don't just kind of go rushing in. You got to make sure you check your corners.
Oh, we're going to see the Hawk go out there and blind Rezkin. Will that allow for enough time, though? Oh, and Astra smoke Rezkin. I'm sorry, but it might be time to just move. They know you're there. Yes, move away. Smart.
Still has that Marshall there. Ooh, Zizo checks right into Maeve. This Eruptions team loves their Marshals there. PvP War gets 2 shots onto E. Taken low, but a great elimination onto Ellie. That is huge for PvP Wars. Misses the other shot, but to make it a 3v3, it's a huge game changer. But Maeve, she's looking for a huge flank right now. And they're going to get a great kill onto Fear Cosmic Wolf.
The Monsoons did drop the spike, but Astra managed to pick up right away, so there was no spike camping option there. As we got Rezkin, the last player standing for the Eruptions, with nothing but just a sniper rifle, 2 off of their ult. Do not foresee that being something they can use this round. Now it's just, oh goodness.
Yeah, fortunately they're also still convinced that the spike is going to be planted at B. Now they're going to get the information that the spike is actually over at A. They'll pick up a different gun to get rid of that Marshall. You can see Maeve is kind of camping in mid, trying to keep an eye out for this jet. They're going to meet right in the spawn. I don't know if Rezkins is going to look this angle.
Nope, Maeve has the better one. And the tailwind, but the bounce back. Rezkin, it's okay. It happens to us all. Totally understand.
And you're trying to rush to defuse the spike. It's hard to check every single corner. Somebody's got an op. I think it's...
Who's got it? Who's going to pop off?
Is it the Astra? I saw somebody take an op shot. Maybe not. I saw the sniper bullet trail fly past in the spawn. I don't know. Maybe it's just sitting in the spawn.
Rezkin also picked up just going with the classic, only a pistol this round. Maeve finds Korkles very fast. So down 1 for the Eruptions. They have the Astral Wall, but that is it. Will they be able to use that for a retake or even prevent a plant? But there is 3 ults for the Monsoons. The Astral Wall plus that Viper smoke could be all they need to take a point, or even just the Jet ult with those knives from Maeve. We'll have to see as we do see the Venom Wall go up, and it looks like, yes, they're pushing in. There goes that Viper Cloud, so now plenty of cover.
Behind you, here comes PvP Wars. Viper Wall goes down. Oh, great headshot onto Ellie. Unfortunately, they were left at 5 HP. Yeah, unfortunately, into an eco round for the Eruption. They have to push into that Viper ult. It's all up to Rezkins, and Ooh, you might be able to get an exit frag over there onto Pryor.
Just go for the exit frag.
And you have nothing to lose with just a pistol.
That's true. What's it gonna be, Rezkin?
Looks like he is kind of waiting on that exit frag. He hears Maeve running around, gets one, pops
and the
knives, but Pryor with a great rotation around. But that's still huge. I mean, that one exit frag, they played that perfectly. They looked for the exit frag, knowing if they had the exit frag, they find knives, pop the knives, but great job kind of just surround and conquer there for the Monsoons with Pryor rotating from his back angle.
Perhaps hanging on to those knives for this last round before the switch occurs might have been the more advantageous thing to do for Rezkin. It would have evened out the ultimates on both sides and given them just a little bit more of possibly the push they need to maintain a point or do a take back for themselves. Pretty balanced, however, with regards to the ones that are available for both teams. But the Astro Walls, I'm interested to see if those get popped at all from either side.
There's the Hunter's Fury that is going to come out. Oh, Pryor actually finds Zizo. That is a huge pick, and you have to assume that's, well, they're kind of split right now. The Monsoons have 2 on B, 3 on A. Spike's over on A. And you can see Fear Cosmic Wolf is all alone with the Sky and the Jet looking for him.
Fear, oh no. The Jet Smoke comes out from Maeve. Ellie sees them and connects the bullets. Fear goes down. Now it's just 3 standing for the Eruptions. Empress did get popped, but Maeve, she found Corkles right away. PvP got 2. Rezkin got 1, though. Now it's 2-2. Sky is very damaged. Will they be able to heal themselves up in time? They just got to defend the... Wait, no, they still have to... Yes, they just have to defend the spike. As Rezkin finds Maeve, it's now just Sky standing. You got to go pick up the... What are you doing?
Well, the spike's all the way back in the... Yeah, it's all the way back in the attacker side spawn. PvP Wars is basically just camping it.
30 seconds left.
Even had the Astro Wall down. They're going to try for the blind, not find anything. Barely dodged the sniper shot there from Rezkins with that Marshall. But Ellie doesn't have enough health to be able to take a shot from any gun at this point. Oh, thought they might push the smoke together.
They had the heal online, I believe, but unfortunately it just doesn't work out in your favor sometimes. Now the half switch has occurred. Will we see the Eruptions win out these pistol rounds to even the score just a little bit? They aren't in as horrible a position as we've seen some teams in the past, but being down 4 is still hard to come back from, especially if the Monsoons take these first 2 pistol rounds.
I'm going to be very curious if the Monsoons do win this first pistol round, if they go for that eco second pistol round we saw on the first time in this map where they won round 1, still kept pistols for everybody. I think except Maeve brought out the Marshall for round 2. So maybe for the Eruptions, it's not all bad news if you lose the pistol round because the Monsoons seem like they have more of a strategy focus on round 3 besides not round 2. So I'll be very curious to see what happens. I kind of want the Monsoons to win, but unfortunately Eruptions start off with a great pick.
Pryor going to go for that location dart. The turret's being recalled. They did get blinded, so Fear Cosmic Wolf had to be careful there as they go for the plant, but it looks like we've got Sky coming in from the left. They barely make it out in time as that Astro Smoke was up to guard their location just a little bit longer. Zizo's going to get in position to guard Heaven. We do see Pryor coming out, but Zizo connects with them faster than they can aim down. Unfortunately, it just ends up like that sometimes.
Ooh, Maeve and Fear Cosmic Wolf going to run into each other. Maeve doing a great job peeking the corners, but they missed their shot. And now it's a 5-on-1 for Ellie. Location reveal with that recon dart's going to make it even harder, but you can see there's a lot of low health bars on the Eruptions. If there's ever time for a 1v5 clutch, it's probably right now, but Coracles puts an end to that. Flawless round for the Eruption, and this should make the next round relatively easy as well, unless they also choose to eco. I'm not sure.
Well, the Monsoons ecoed last time despite winning that first round, so they could possibly bring this one back, but we do not see that for the side of the Eruptions. They're going with, looks like, 1 half buy, and the rest are going for full buys on this one, so they're trying to lock in the secure on the second round.
Trying to shrink that gap between the two teams. Biggest thing the Eruptions have got to be careful for is that first elimination. It has felt like the Monsoons have dominated the first blood category. That allows them to open up the map and apply pressure to multiple different sides. So you cannot let them get first blood, especially with the eco as PvP War takes out Pryor, and that's a great start for the side of the Eruptions.
They also found Ellie shortly thereafter. Korkles is going to go for the plant with no pressure on them, manages to get that taken care of easily. There's just 3 standing for the Monsoons. Maeve is hurting on the health front with barely anything left on that health bar as Korkles finds them. And then another one from PvP, 2 from PvP will close out the round.
It's a 4K for PvP Wars. It's a flawless for the Eruptions. Just like that, we're back to 8-6. Should be on a relatively even playing field. We do see at least one Marshall coming out. I've never seen a lobby that loves the Marshall as much as these two teams do. It feels like almost every round has had a Marshall in it besides the pistol round. And we see here in our replay, this Astra came so close to get both the Sova and the opposing Astra so low. But unfortunately, Muffin just wasn't able to get the kill. But now that everybody's on even playing field, I'm curious how this round will go.
We have half buys for basically everyone but E for the side of the Monsoons, and unfortunately not having any form of armor will make you an easy target, so they did go down first. For the Eruptions, their jet did take a lot of damage, though, as we see this recon dart go out. Sorry, the shock dart go out. Didn't pick up anybody, didn't give any information either, so hopefully Pryor can use that to their advantage in some way as the Wolf comes out as well.
Pryor's pushing into Zizo and Fear Cosmic Wolf. Muffins does get a kill off screen to even us up at 4 aside. I think we have to watch out for Rezkins though, as Pryor gets one through the smoke. Gonna put out that recon drone. Korkles does take out Ellie though, and it looks like everybody's over on B. Pryor now knowing that will put it away. Oh, he was trying to spray through Boathouse. Gets taken out. There's Maeve with that Marshall, not gonna land a kill. Korkles gets a 3-piece, and we're almost tied up. What a comeback here for the Eruptions.
Okay, I understand that you guys like the Marshalls. Some of you are having good luck with it, but across the board, it's not that great for anybody, so I suggest we don't use it.
Looks like we upgraded. I think Maeve's got the op. Rezkins had the op last round. So we've upgraded from the Marshall to the op, and we'll see. It's a battle of the Jets with that op. We'll see who gets the pop off, and mid's going to be a very scary place to be for pretty much everybody in this lobby right now.
Hopefully no one pushes down mid. Don't ego peek the op, as Doc says in his keys to the game.
Okay, you can see Maeve. You can see their sight line. Kind of looking through mid. I'm curious what Rezkins wants to do. Maybe try and peek Heaven with that op from A main. So far, it looks like we actually have a pause in the game as the clock has stopped with 8 seconds. So it looked like everyone is connected and at least gotten a buy off. So I'll be very curious to see who's having maybe some connection issues. Hopefully they're able to come back relatively soon. It does just blow my mind every time we see E, they have a shorty in their secondary slot for personal preference. The memes, I'm not really sure.
Maybe it's for those close range. I can't reload here, so let me just run at you and turn you into Swiss cheese.
Just I don't know if it's worth not, the extra cash you're spending every round with, instead of just, get the pistol and for free, but who knows? As you said, maybe it is that I don't want to have to reload. Maybe they, find their shorty skills better than their pistol skills. It's hard to say. But so far, we're just kind of waiting to see what the pause is about, and hopefully we'll be able to come back relatively soon from it.
Perhaps someone is getting some pointers from their coach. That is something that these pauses can be used for. I, for one, can definitely say we've utilized them for that purpose.
I mean, probably would have to be on the Monsoon side because the Eruptions have done a great job of really stabilizing this 4-round deficit. I mean, you also have the Empress up for the Reyna. They might be able to turn things around because Korkles has been absolutely phenomenal. The highest level player that I've seen in Valorant when we load into a lobby has not disappointed me so far.
I gotta know, Korkles, how much time have you grinded Reyna?
You have to assume a lot. I mean, their game sense is insane. Every time we swap to them, they have their trigger or their crosshair placement exactly where a headshot would be. It's like the pause has ended now. I think we also saw 2 Odins on the side of the Monsoons, which is a ton of fun. I think they're both trying to spray through B. Unfortunately, nobody's there on B.
Reyna popped the Empress right away. A blind did come out there as Zizo was trying to use their drone. Muffins found Korkles despite the Empress being online. The Eruptions have lost 3 now. It's just so, but never mind. It's just Jet standing for the Eruptions. Maeve is a little low on health, but they should be just fine. Rezkins now, You got to make a decision yet again, my friend. Is it time to frag out with the operator or get away? I, for one, will vote that you just try and get away and stay alive. Don't even go for the exit frag, because if you lose that op, it's going to put you in a sticky situation.
I like this spot right here. Just watch down the A hallway. See if somebody tries to challenge you. You got to be careful, though, because Maeve does have the op as well. They ended up getting a pistol headshot on a PvP Wars. We didn't quite see what happened there. But, yeah, it looks like Rezkins has basically decided, you know what, I've got that op. It's not worth wasting the 5,000 credits for my team. I'm probably not going to have the 1v5 clutch with the op in close quarters and with the knives not even close to being online. So we'll just let these 30 seconds tick out. And
30 seconds left.
A great play here from Rezkins.
Smart move, Rezkins. Proud of you. For like, most people want to go for the exit frag. Let's be real.
I mean, I like them holding down the sightline on A lobby. I mean, that is totally acceptable, and it's a great job by the Monsoons. I don't know if they know he has the op or not, but they're not, you know, gung-ho trying to challenge him. They are fully accepting they'll win the round. So I think it's a great overall play for both sides here. Monsoons, they'll get the edge because they did end up winning to put themselves up 9-7.
Great discipline there, Rezkin. Hopefully your other teammates can take a page out of your book if they're in the same position in the future. It's not worth it if it means losing 5,000 credits.
Only downside for the Eruptions is they popped the Empress like you mentioned, and I don't think they got a single kill.
No, instead they got killed.
Yeah, that is always hurts when you pop your ult or something as powerful as that Empress that kind of lets you be that solo god, and you can't even find a single kill. But you see they're all grouped up on A this time, or on B, excuse me, and see, oh, Rezkins, you got to be careful. We're going to get an op battle here between the two Jets. We get it right on the right side of our screen. I think Maeve took the shot and just ran away because they didn't want to have anything happen. Here's the Odin spray, though. This is what I was ready for.
E with the Odin. That's interesting because we also see PvP off-screen take out Prior. Oh, the wallbang shots are coming through. I think they might have gotten a couple of shots in. They did on Fear and then finished them off. The recon dart did go out, though, so E is fully revealed. Rezkin takes advantage of that, but Maeve found Zizo. Operator versus operator. Now it's just two standing for the Eruptions. Maeve took out Rezkin, so the crosshair placement was in her favor that time around. We'll have to see if next round it's more in Rezkin's favor.
They didn't see Corkles. The dog totally missed Corkles, but oh, he needed a bit more trigger discipline. He could have easily picked up a two-piece there if he had just shown a little bit more patience. Ellie staying alive, ends up taking out PvP Wars. Ellie's got to be careful with these dogs because these have been full Rambo, don't always check your corners. If Corkles just waits here, I bet you both Maeve and Ellie push forward and they could probably pick out a double kill. They were just a bit too excited to try and even out the operator gap there. Double Odin on B, though, for Monsoons. That is a hilarious strategy.
It could be very deadly, and I'm excited to just see the spray and pray that might come out of that firefight if we see it go down. And the Astral Wall did get popped there from the Eruptions. Let's see if they're going to utilize that to push in onto A, because it's primarily blocking that one. May have had to use a Tailwind to get out of there. Missed their shot on Astra as they pushed in. Muffins will find Fear Cosmic, though. Now down one. PvP is still going to manage to get the plant off as Corkles finds Ellie, but Ellie found Zizo right before that.
Maeve does know exactly where Corkles is. Actually uses the jet smoke to try and stop PvP Wars in hell. Picks up two with the Ares. Maeve, you'd have to think they know, but they got to watch out. Rezkins is flanking them from behind. They're going to pop the knives. Miss all of them, unfortunately. Gets one elimination, and now they're going to need a miracle with the op down here.
Two ops.
Well, that's a great call out from, I would assume, this Astra there, letting Rezkins know, hey, there's just somebody below you. Just a great play, honestly, by PvP Wars. 4 HP. And I think this just, I mean, this is kind of something I've seen a little bit here from the Monsoons. I feel like their communication is something they got to work on, because if you know PvP Wars is at 4 HP, you should not need to pop the knives and throw all of them at once.
Yeah.
Little bit of a communication breakdown here for the Monsoons, but that's okay. They're still in the lead. Rezkin does have the op back, though, so mid is very scary. Maeve's got to be careful. Without that op on her own, she's just going to stay away from that mid, knowing, yeah, Rezkin's probably there looking right at where I would be.
We also have that Killjoy ult online for the Eruptions, and Killjoy has the spike. They can use that easily to push into a point, maybe get a detain if someone is not paying attention to that countdown timer and gets out of the way. It will provide plenty of time for them to get that plant off, but they need to make sure that they utilize natural cover and angles to limit line of sight of the enemy team, because even if they're outside the zone of the Killjoy ult, they can still kill you.
Ooh, Maeve has 4 people rush them.
Oh, run, Maeve, run.
Trying to back up. There's that attacker Killjoy that's going to come down for the Eruptions. Maeve has got to make a play before the Killjoy comes in. Not able to find it. Ellie hanging back just on the other side. PvP War picks up another one. And it's already a 5v3. And with that spike down, it's going to be very tough for a regain here for the Monsoons.
Ellie's going to look for a flash here, I believe. As PvP picks up Ellie, just get out. Ellie, get out. Do not go for an exit frag. Don't use the hot because it reveals where you are. Just try to evacuate. Never mind. Use the wolf. See where everybody's standing. And unfortunately, PvP will use that against you to just run at you.
Pick up the ace as well. And PvP Wars has been the soft carry for the side of the Eruptions. Getting their team down just one. See if they can come back, but so far, and it looks like, yeah, you've got Maeve with a pistol, you've got Muffins with a pistol. Maeve doesn't even have the knives out. This should be, you know, I don't want to jinx the side of the Eruptions, but this should be an easy round for them here, going into 3 pistols, especially with a full buy coming out still. I expect us to have it at 10-10 here, as Maeve trying to do something with the Marshall, just not quite finding it.
Oh, unfortunately did not get the crosshair at the right spot there to pick up PvP, but did pick up Fear Cosmic. Took a lot of damage, though, down to 21 health. The walls go down. Well, the door went down, so now they have to find a new means of entering, or they're just going to try and shoot it down. Quirkles and PvP finding one apiece. Rezkin, Zizo, PvP yet again, and Zizo has plenty of time to get that plant off before the round concludes.
10-10 here, the Eruptions with a fantastic comeback, down 8-4 at the half. The fact they've tied it up, we've seen 2 fantastic comebacks. The Firestorms couldn't quite complete theirs in our first game. We'll see if the Eruptions can finish this one off and make their first ever grand finals. I mean, this is a very, very scary team for the Eruptions. I think PvP War and Quirkles have been playing insane. So is Rezkin. You see there, all 3 of them positive right now. It's really going to come down to, I think, who has the better next few rounds between PvP Wars and Maeve. And Maeve gets taken out in a trade of 1-for-1.
Rezkin did go down as well. Zizo went down to E. So we see the Hunter's Fury come out from prior and pick up PvP in that. So now just 2 standing for the Eruptions. The Jellyfish have come out. Going to reveal the location of Quirkles and possibly one other, because they are not going to be able to take out that second Jellyfish. Doesn't matter, though, because Ellie gets taken down by that sniper.
Fantastic job by Quirkles picking up the op. Don't know if that was Rezkin's op or their own. But we've seen multiple players in this lobby that are talented with the snipers. We've seen a lot of marshals. We've seen a lot of operators. You see the 2 members of the Eruption rotating back through spawn, going through mid, and it looks like they're going to go through A and try and get over to that A site. So it's all up to Pryor.
Very interesting, though. If you look at the Monsoons' placement on the map, they've got 1 in mid, 1 at site B, and 1 in A, just trying to cover all the bases here. Once someone realizes where the push is going to happen, though, hopefully they make the call to their team to come back them up. We see that alarm bot go down as Pryor takes out Quirkles, and they find Fear Cosmic right after. Nicely done.
Fantastic job, and they get the op with 0 seconds left. That is huge. Assume they're going to maybe they keep it themselves. I'm guessing they're going to give it to Maeve. That looks to be the case. Yes, it is. And that's huge, because I don't know if the Eruptions lose another round, not only will it be match point, I don't think many of their members can afford another full buy. So they have got to get this to 11-11, otherwise they could be in a very precarious spot on match point.
2 ults aside. Both sides pretty even with the amount of power they can provide and the amount of utility. As we see Hunter's Fury come out, E barely dodges the first one. Second one goes way in front of them, as does the third, so they're alive still with no damage. Well, a little bit of damage. They spray and take down PvP and Quirkles. We're going to see the drone come out to try and pick up E's location. I think they hid well enough as Ellie takes down Rezkin.
Fantastic round there for E. Muffins gets one more onto Zizo. It's all up to Fear Cosmic Wolf, who is in a very scary spot as Ellie's right there. Going to pop the dog, gets the information that they need, and Fear Cosmic Wolf gets one at least, denies some cash, but now I think the Eruptions are going to be caught with only that one kill. I don't know how many full buys they can actually afford in match point, which is never the spot you want to be in.
I hope to see half buys coming out for the Eruptions. Please do not go into this last round with no armor on your person, as we do see Zizo opting to not get anything.
Well, he's still got 4,700 credits, so I'm guessing he's trying to figure out.
I think we might see a pause come out here. They aren't moving. Oh, nope, they've moved.
There we go.
Do see that they've purchased a gun. Don't know about their armor, however, so I'm just going to fingers crossed and say that they did buy at least light.
Yeah, I think they got full armor. They did see that Corkle's got that op, but it's Maeve with the first op elimination, and we're going to maybe go with the Killjoy here for Fear Cosmic Wolf. He thought about it. It's probably the only hope that the Eruption have, especially now down one member, and there it is. There's that attacker, Killjoy, going to try and open up the area, but I think based on that circle on the map, Heaven's still an option for Maeve just over in that corner, but Corkles ends up taking him out anyway.
We've got 4 standing on both sides right now, so equal manpower. However, positioning is definitely in the favor of the Eruption since they managed to get every location here covered on this site. The retake from Heaven will be difficult. Zizo is waiting right outside that smoke. Pryor did read that perfectly, though.
That was an insane flick by Pryor. Looks down in Heaven, ends up taking it up right to the face as Corkles was actually hiding in the other corner. Ellie is there. Muffins gets the elimination. And both comebacks come up short. Both games end at 13-10 as the Monsoons secure their first ever spot in the grand finals. A huge congratulations to them. We will see them next week play the winner of the Landslides and the Hurricanes. Fantastic overall esports tower. A couple of great games, very close. They didn't think they'd be that close at the start. But don't forget, if you want to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights with our featured rumbles. Recruiters are taking notice as well. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. And as we heard, $1.2 million in scholarships offered to Esports Tower players. So overall, fantastic time for all of them, and a fantastic night here. We get to see a new team in the grand finals, Nerdy. Maybe a second team. Maybe the Hurricanes can do what no team's ever done before, which is actually beat the Landslides next week in our second semifinal. But honestly, I think the Monsoons, their play style, that slow play, might work out against the Landslides if that ends up being their opponent. But overall, a great night of Valorant here.
I promise to all of you players that this means no pressure. We get to be super nitpicky about everything. And we have high hopes. Nothing against you, Landslides, but it's time to pass the torch, so to speak, to someone else. Hopefully we'll get to see that next week, but, you know, you never know.
No, I mean, I think it's a great start. I mean, the fact that the Monsoons, the Monsoons were able to take out Surge White in the first round, that's always huge, just simply because that means that Surge White had been kind of that team. They had sort of been battling back and forth with the Firestorms as that second-place team, so maybe the Monsoons can overtake them. But overall, cannot wait for next week's grand finals. Landslides and Hurricanes in the semifinal, and then Monsoons in the winner of that in our grand finals. Overall, cannot wait to see how that goes, but I know we still have some post-game accolades to give out here before we wrap up tonight's cast.
Who do you think is going to be the ICCU player of the game?
I mean, that is tough. I mean, usually my go-to would be Mr. Memphi, but he struggled. I'd have to say Maeve. Maeve probably is the pick here. But it's actually going to be CC, which is very well-deserved. I like to try and avoid giving it to the Landslides because they win so much. But I think CC, it is actually Prestige.
Okay, all right. Well, you know.
Still on the Landslides. I think that's still a fantastic job by Prestige. Really is kind of coming to their own on that Sky. They usually played Sage, and I think they were like, oh, well, I can play Sky on Ascent. Well, I can play a Sky on Breeze. Now it feels like they're a Sky main, and I think they play it incredibly well. So a very well-deserved ICCU player of the game.
The ICCU player of the game is brought to you by Idaho Central's Credit Union, who believes a great player makes the team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. And Prestige is the Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. Congratulations to you.
And they're the person who we kind of always expect to pick up the slack in a sense for the landslides whenever Mr. Memphis struggles, which has honestly never been ever as bad as he did tonight, which again still is nothing against him. He would absolutely destroy me, but it's still, we'd never see him at the bottom of his team's scoreboard. So huge shout out to Prestige. Like I said, they figured out that Sky. We've seen, I don't want to call them copycats, but we're seeing more and more Skies, and maybe that's going to replace the Sage. Maybe just the utility, the flashes, the jellyfish, maybe that's all being valued more and more by esports tower teams over that sort of you get a second chance, because these teams have really figured out, the revive, you got that 2-second delay, I'm just going to take you out anyway, that's just a free kill.
Well, the one thing you did mention was the love on the Marshall that we got to see tonight, which I think is honestly the answer to Mr. Memphis' pure domination on those sniper rifles, is to give everyone the opportunity to get good at them, to possibly, you know, come out on top against Mr. Memphis in those sniper battles. Very excited to see what we'll be able to witness next week. So congratulations to the Monsoons on qualifying for the Grand Finals for the first time since week 3. We'll be back next week with the conclusion of our semifinals match, with the Landslides taking on the Hurricanes for the last spot in the Grand Finals and a chance to qualify for the BFC Valorant Cup. As a reminder, we'll be hosting the conclusion of the Esports Tower Valorant Rumble next week on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time right here at the Boise State Twitch channel. Join us then to see who takes home the 9th Valorant Cup championship title.
Yeah, it's going to be a ton of fun. I'm rooting for the Hurricanes. I think the Landslides, though, are probably going to be the team that advances. This team is just too talented. Maybe we'll see. Maybe the Monsoons can challenge them, but we have to wait and see till next week. But we will close out with our top 5 plays presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is the best team out there. Reach out on Twitch at iGuard Gaming, and here are your top 5 plays from this week's Valorant Rumble. It's a fantastic read. Gets the wall bang headshot onto Mr. Memphis. Keika's healing's gonna get the spike down. Solix is taken low. This might be just you. Oh, he's actually gonna throw it on the killjoy. I thought maybe you just eat the all. Oh, they catch him in the Hunter's Fury.
Oh, no.
It's a 1-on-2. Oh. The killjoy to go out. I think they both would.
Very calculated. Very meticulous.
That's a good way to put it as well.
We have
Fake the plant when they're all 5 off the spot. Fake it again.
Maeve unfortunately does go down. E follows that up, taking out Fear Cosmic Wolf. It is now down to a 2v4, though. The spike is... And the Monsoons have full control of the point as E went in to try and pick, it looks like early there, after Corkles is going to go for the plant with no pressure on them, manages to get that taken care of easily. There's just 3 standing for the Monsoons. Maeve is hurting on the health front with barely anything left on that health bar as Corkles finds them. And then another one from PvP, 2 from PvP will close out the round.
It's a 4K from side. I think we have to watch out for Reskins, though. As Pryor gets one through the smoke. Gonna put out that recon drone. Corkles does take out Ellie, though, and it looks like everybody's over on B. Pryor now knowing that will put it away. Oh, he was trying to spray through Boathouse. Gets taken out. There's Maeve with that Marshall, not gonna land a kill. Corkles gets a 3-piece, and we're on the Monsoons.
Ellie's gonna look for a flash here, I believe, as PvP picks up Ellie. Just get out. Ellie, get out. Do not go for an exit frag. Don't use the hawk because it reveals where you are. Just try to evacuate. Never mind, use the wolf, see where everybody's...